Xbox recall game exploits, and we have a rumour mill regarding the Arkham Knight. Yes, we're back to this again, I know, but it just doesn't stop. The bad news just doesn't stop coming with this game, and the only reason I'm saying this is a rumour mill is because we can't actually confirm whether the sources are legit or not. But, you know, I'm kind of inclined to believe that they are on this one, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so here's some quotes for you. I will say that it's pretty rich for Warner Brothers to act like they had no idea the game was in such a horrible state. It's been like this for months, and all the problems we see now are the exact same, unchanged, almost a year ago. Fuck! That's a quality assurance tester working for Warner Brothers. There's more. Oh, there's more. Two more sources that obviously want to stay anonymous, otherwise they'll lose their careers within the gaming industry, came out and said Warner Brothers was aware of many issues facing the Arkham Knight on PC, and that the publisher chose to ship the game regardless. Not to maniacally screw over the customers, but because they believed it was good enough. I'm just going to say right now, if you believe that that was good enough, you need to be sacked. It doesn't take much to test. All I had to do was check an AMD rig. There's different hardware specs, and they all run games a little bit differently. But if you want to rule out most problems, test one from AMD, test one from Nvidia. Because AMD had a much harder time this time than Nvidia. So I'm inclined to think that if they did test it, it was on a high end Nvidia top of the range PC, which to be honest only like 1 to 10% of PC gamers would actually own. I'm not sure the exact statistics, but I know it's quite small. That means that at least, like, you know, 90% or around that of PC gamers had a really bad time with this and probably requested a refund. But I'll get back to that in a minute. Since then we found out the PC version of the Arkham Knight was actually ported by Iron Galaxy Studios, and it was about 12 people that actually worked on the ports. Well, here's some more quotes from some game testers that worked with Warner Brothers on this game. Getting it to work on consoles was impossible for months. That's part of why the game got delayed so many times. They were totally unprepared for how hard it was on next-gen consoles. There was various meetings with QA teams that have came out and said, apparently, that they were told the new consoles were not nearly as easy to work with as expected, and the testers should focus on finding console bugs. This particular team was made up of roughly 100 people, with about 10% focused on the PC version. So that just 100 people, and they only gave like 10 to 12 on the PC version. The thing you got to remember about Rocksteady is that they're a very small studio. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, because looking at the quality of their previous games, they are good games. They're really good games. I love the Arkham series. The thing about them is that it's a small studio. They have less than 50 odd employees, I think, whereas most studios have well over 100. So they've got a really tight-knit development team, and they make really good quality games. They evidently work well with each other, and that was fine in the 360 and PS3 era. But as the bigger machines came out, they've been able to flesh themselves out a bit more visually and artistically, and they've evidently made a bigger game here. Unfortunately, with better hardware, bigger games happen, better visuals occur, and you're going to need a bigger team and more employees to actually be able to make a quality game. So obviously they've focused solely on getting it working on console, and they evidently had a hard time with that, and that's what's caused the delays. But the fact of this is where there's been delays, and they haven't actually been able to focus on a PC port themselves. That's why Iron Galaxy got bought in by Warner Brothers. But the fact that they've only bought in a studio of 12 people to make a port of a game this large, that, I mean, 12 people can't port a PC game in a matter of a couple of months and test it and everything on their own, just shows you how little respect Warner Brothers has for the PC gaming community. It's disgraceful. I find it disgusting. It's a massive insult to PC gamers. I'm a long-running fan of the Batman series. I have bought Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City on console and PC, and now I've bought Origins and Arkham Knight. So I'm a big fan of it, and I bought them on both console and PC, and I get spat in my face for buying it on PC. It's a joke. It's bad. It should never happen. Warner Brothers are so full of shit. We reported literally thousands of bugs that were specific to the PC version relating to frame rates. All sorts of fucked up texture issues. The Batmobile in particular has always fucked up things on PC. Warner Brothers had issues with ports before. Like, for instance, they had Mortal Kombat X. That was unplayable. People downloaded that on day one, couldn't download it. And then once they could download it, like the next day, they found that it was either unplayable, like it would not even run, or it was in some form of unplayable state. I can attest to that. It took a couple of weeks before it came into any sort of playable state. And it took much longer to get into a smooth playable state. In fact, I think that there's still a particular level on that game, it's like the jungle level, where a certain area of that arena will slow down the frame rate to this very day, even though my PC far surpasses the recommended specs. Shadow of Mordor also had a bit of a rocky launch, and it's just time and time again, Warner Brothers has published a game on PC with half-assed ports, bad frame rate issues, bad texturing issues, and they just haven't given a fuck. They've just launched it and patched it over time. Now, the fact that they used Iron Galaxy Studios, so they outsourced the PC port for the game, and like they've developed Dive Kick and Killer Instinct Season 2, and they've done some ports of some classic Capcom fighters. I think they might have done Street Fighter 4, and if they did do Street Fighter 4, that's a terrible fucking port, frankly. So, I mean, it just shows that Warner Brothers doesn't give two shits about the PC market at all, which is really shocking, because the amount of money that they gain from releasing a port on PC compared to the amount of money spent making a decent port on PC more than warrants the investment, but apparently they don't give two fucks. And that's not just opinion, that's fact. History has shown us the amount of half-assed poor ports, and then this came out. There's only 2 games that have had such a bad launch that I can remember, and this is not just in recent history, this is in since I became a gamer, back when I was in single digits years of age. I can't remember a game that was so broken as Assassin's Creed Unity and Batman Arkham Knight. And when you look at Mortal Kombat X and Shadow of Mordor and Assassin's Creed Unity, there was no way that the PC gamers could complain properly. I mean, the fact is, you could moan, you could bitch and moan in forums and comments, threads and videos, and that's about it. That's all we could do. Because we couldn't refund it. People were buying the game, getting stung on pre-orders, and then having to sit there and suffer it until the game got put into a playable state. Which could take anywhere from weeks to months to not at all, because Batman Arkham Origins, yeah, Batman Arkham Origins still has issues to this day. Nowhere near as bad as this though, but apparently there's still some game-breaking bugs where you can't progress certain side quests anymore, like Riddler challenges and all the rest of it. I've been lucky I haven't encountered those yet, but I haven't done all the Riddler challenges. So no, undoubtedly, if I did try, knowing my luck, I'll probably encounter one of those bugs and never be able to progress past that point. That's just how things go with me, it would seem. But my point is, if they gave a shit, because I mean, Warner Brothers took the game off the shelves and said, we're so sorry, we didn't know, we're going to repair it, we're going to fix it, we're going to patch the shit out of it. Well, if that was the case, if they did care, then, especially if these statements are true, it's just reinforcing what I was thinking to begin with. If these statements are true and they did know in advance, which they should do, because if not, they do not have a quality control team or quality assurance team working on any of their games, which is just deeply concerning, and it makes me wonder how the console versions even come out so well. So I'm inclined, like I said, to think that these statements have some truth within them. If that's the case, though, then that just goes to show they don't give two shits about the PC. And the only reason that they're actually pulling it off the shelves and working so hard and being so apologetic about the whole thing is because PC gamers can now fight back with their money. We can now get refunds. We can get refunds from Mortal Kombat X. We had to suffer that. Didn't matter how much you complained. It was just, oh, we're working to fix it. Sorry about the hassle. Blah, 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 blah. Usual shit. Same with Shadows of Mordor. Got the same with Unity, but obviously I know that's Ubisoft. Now, all of a sudden, we can take back our money. Like I said, this game only apparently works for high-end NVIDIA PCs. Not everyone has a high-end NVIDIA PC. A lot of people don't. Like I said, at least 90% of PC gamers do not have, that's being conservative, do not have a high-end Titan graphics card, 16 to 32 gigabytes RAM, SSD running monster of a PC. And those are the PCs that can run it smoothly. Every other PC has stuttering, frame drops, bad textures, total game freeze, just won't run the game, massive problems. And I guarantee that pretty much all those people, or most of them at least, have made a refund, which means they've lost most of the sales from the PC port, which they, like I said, would make a lot of money on, because the amount of investment compared to the amount of profit is unreal. I mean, they may sell less on the PC, but they actually make more in comparison. Because, I mean, the game's already made. The port, they don't have to make anything. They just have to, you know, change a few bit of code and make it compatible. And then, you know, smooth out the bugs. Apparently, they didn't smooth out the bugs at all on the PC. They just got it sort of working and released it, and that's not good enough. And now, the consumers can fight back. As soon as the money started pulling, as soon as they started losing money, they pulled the game off the shelves. They say to save their rep and stuff, so fix it and get it back on the shelves. They pulled it off the shelves to stop the embarrassment of them losing all of that money, in the hopes that when they bring it back onto the shelves, people will pay back. And to be honest, if it comes back and it is on a playable state, if it is standard, I will put money back into it because I love the series, and that's going to happen for most people. But at least we could pull the money away from them with the refunds to force them to actually get their asses in gear and fix it properly. Hopefully with this going on, they will actually, like I say, fix it properly. Not do a Batman Arkham Origins where they actually said, and I shit you not, they actually said that they're going to stop working on fixing the game so they can work on DLC. That's the difference. They're going to stop working on fixing the game that was still had massively game-breaking bugs that stopped you from progressing in the game to work on DLC. That's what they told you in the last Batman game that got released. Admittedly, not developed by Rocksteady. And now, this. It's a joke. Shit like this should never happen. These are paying customers. If I go into a shop and I buy a phone or a camera, if there's something wrong with the hardware, you go back, you get a refund instantly. Now we can do that. Because it's technically illegal to sell a product that is not up to standard, and this product was far from standard. It was far from up to standard. It weren't up to scratch at all. It was not in a playable state. It shouldn't have hit the shelves at all. It was terrible. I've seen alphas run smoother, and that is saying a lot. But anyway, now the consumers have the power to get the refunds, and this means that I think a lot of publishers, I think EA, Ubisoft, Activision and all the rest of them should be looking squarely at Arkham Knight and squarely at Warner Brothers, just really analysing what's happened here and take note. Because if the next game that they release comes out and it's in this kind of state, or in any form of poor state on release, guarantee that the PC gamers, and I hope that they do, but I am almost certain that they will just turn around and get the refunds. The thing that cracks me up is the fact that we've still got apologists saying, oh, well, you know, you just wait for the patches. I don't see why so many people are so wound up. It runs okay on my rig. Yeah, that's your rig, fuckface. That's your rig. You may have an NVIDIA SSD, 980 Ti, 32 gigs of RAM, dual graphics card setup, absolute monster, water cooled to the nines. You know, $2 grand, $3 grand worth of PC sitting there. Not all of us have that. I didn't cheap out much on my PC, but my PC is an AMD rig, and the game was broken to fuck. I don't understand them. I don't understand, but I hope that the majority of PC gamers will use this new power to their advantage, because I guarantee every publisher, once people start pulling money, they'll start getting their asses in gear and doing what needs to be done to get that money back. And they know full well that what needs to be done to get that money back is to give us the products that we deserve. Anyway, I could rant on for ages. This makes me angry. This whole thing makes me angry. This shouldn't happen. If you pay full price for a product, you should get the full working product. This product was not working. I got my money back. I hope you did too if you bought it. And once they fixed it, then they can have my money happily. But hopefully, with this example being set, then hopefully after a few more fuck ups, publishers will get their arse in gear and start putting out proper PC ports that work. Thank you for watching Recall Gaming Exploits. There's stuff here, every channel tells you to do, and I will see you soon. Bye.